Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to talk a little louder because there's some construction work going on outside the building here, and it's actually kind of loud where I'm sitting, but hopefully you don't hear it very much. Sad to say, I think this might be the final video I'm going to be doing on this build. Maybe happy to say for some people who have endured what I've been running with. But in any event, you might not have seen the last one I've done. So, you know, water cooled the RAM, got rid of the green lights. That's nothing new. Couple things I did do, just to kind of finish this stuff off, is I put a fan on the inside here on the back that's blowing in. And that one, obviously, it's the same as the other blue ones, so it just adds a bit of blue in there. But somebody was asking me, you know, how do I manage all my dust? And what I've done, which is there's 6 of these on the bottom, and then this is the one on the back, and then all it is this little dust cover here. And let me just click it on here. And that's all it is. I mean, it doesn't look the greatest, but I've got 6 of these on the bottom, which are the intake fans coming, you know, up and then exhausting out the top. And this one is exhausting inside the case, so it's blowing the outside air in. And as somebody pointed out before, they thought my fans were backwards, and they were, but that's on purpose because I want them to exhaust out the front. I'm not so fussed on that. I'm really more concerned about managing the dust and taking care of that sort of thing. So anyway, that's the answer to the question of how am I managing my dust. All of my intakes have this very fan on it, and all of my outtakes are, you know, not as sexy as they could be if I flipped the fans around in the first place. So anyway, that's kind of where that's at. The other thing I did is I swapped out my old SIG, or SIIG, sorry, through USB 3.0 hub that I had because it really wasn't working for me at all. So now we've got this guy in here, and let me see if I can zoom in and will it focus? Doesn't really matter, you can tell USB 3.0s are usually blue. So anyways, this one, USB 3.0, both of those, SATA USB 2.0, and then a quick boost for overclocking. You know, is what it is. Do I like it being all black like that? You know what, I'll live with it. It's functional right now, and I'll look to change it in future. I mean, had to run a bunch of cords. You can't see them at all, I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2 of them, which is really just nothing, to be honest. So that's not so bad. Let me close one of these doors. So the other thing I did is I finally kind of put a lasso around my cable management. Not exactly the best job I've ever done, but because my Enermax here, the Galaxy, is not a fully modular power supply, I have to contend with all the cords and whatnot to make that fit. You know, and then the fans, good lord, there's 36 fans I think in this case right now. So, I mean, there isn't a lot more I can say about the cable management that's required to make sure that all kind of fits. It's a good thing this case is as big as it is. The other thing I did is I finally got my 2 Intel 510 SSDs running in RAID right now. Love them. The Patriot Wildfire is hooked up as well, plus my 2 terabyte mass storage drive is also hooked up. These two, obviously, given that this is the X58 board, they don't have enough SATA 6 gigabit per second ports or chipsets to run those, so those are you know, down clock to the SATA 3 gigabit per second. But these two guys, pretty happy with. That's really what I was after. I mean, I find that actually to be a big difference in the way I use the computer, that having those that SATA 6 gigabit per second, especially in RAID with those two SSDs, is really nice. So in any event, the only thing that's kind of changed ever since I've finished everything and I reloaded the software and I reloaded the operating system, so on and so forth, I've noticed that my it's not gonna, oh, it is gonna kind of show you, but I have this little gizmo here that tells me how many watts I'm drawing from the wall. So this is a from the wall. This gets up to 1240 now. So when I've my CPU, my 980X, is overclocked to 4.12 gigahertz approximately, and my 2590s are just stock, and I'm pulling 1240 watts from the wall. I mean, I think that should be okay, but getting a little bit of instability on the benchmarks, but I don't know if that's the SLI or if that's something else. So anyway, just to let you know, that's kind of the power that's pulling out of here. And I got rid of this little USB 3.0 thing because of the front one here. Now that this has got the USB 3.0s, this one is finally gone bye-bye. Now, unfortunately, I cut a hole in this one to make the cord fish through, but it's the back of the case, much like this fan cover or filter and cover. So what? I'm not going to see it that often. So, you know, it is what it is. I guess that's really about it. The next few things for me are just going to be trying to get the system stable. I don't think I'll have a huge issue with it. You know, the fans and the fan controllers are all operating perfectly fine. They're all running at about 50%, so that the noise is not there at all. And the water cooling loop is going okay. Is going okay as well. I'm contemplating, and I'm not quite hell-bent on this yet, but I might upgrade the power supply if I find I'm continuing to get these instability issues. I don't know if anybody's got any feedback. If you do, throw it in the comments or send me a PM. I'd really like to figure out why I'm getting some instability issues with some of the benchmarks I'm doing, and given the pull from the wall getting up to 1240 already and my power supply is 1250, I'm kind of wondering if I'm not kind of at the edge. I know that you know, the draw from the wall is not the same as the draw from the power supply, but I'm keeping in mind that this power supply is also a couple years old and has really done me a great service. So wondering if it might just not be degraded a little bit to the point where it's not so good. So maybe I need to upgrade it. I'm going to play around with it today because I'm taking a little bit of time off from work. And yeah, anyways, I got a couple other things to post, and you know, so while the build's kind of going to stay stagnant until the X79 boards come out and the chipsets and all that other fun stuff with the new CPUs, as far as I understand, some PCI 3.0s, that kind of jazz. I want to put that up as soon as I get it as well. The last thing I want to say is I learned something this time around, and I think a couple videos ago I talked about how much I use or do not use a DVD drive. So that's why I have this little ASUS, you know, it's just two USBs to power it and to load things. And the only thing I ever use this for, or have used this for recently in the last couple of months, is loading the operating system or loading some arcane DVD or CD that somebody lends me, which most people now don't even lend me those. They just give me a USB stick, or I bring it over to their house and I download it myself. So, but what I was going to say is highly recommend putting your operating system on the USB stick. I'm going to do a video on how I did this. This is just a USB 2.0 16 gig stick. It holds my Windows 7 operating system as well as the product key. So when I gotta load the operating system, I just plop it into one of the USB ports in the back, and the load times, phenomenal. Over this thing to this thing, extreme. So this usually takes me about 20-25 minutes to get through all of the components and whatnot, and the reload or the restarts. This one, like 5 to 7 minutes. So no longer am I just annoyed with my operating system needing to be reloaded. I now just, click this one in. 5 to 7 minutes later, then I update my graphics cards and then a few other programs that I need to. All in all, I gotta say it's about 60% to 70% faster than using the lovely disk business here. So getting away from that. So now that I'm using this, I almost think I might never use this again. It's to be expected. I think technology is just going there. Why would you keep this in your house when you can carry this in your pocket? And that's the end of the day. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to upload that video on how I did it, though, just so you can see it. You can Google it if you want. It's fairly simple. I can't believe how fast the process is. It takes about 5 clicks or 5 steps, and then click, you're done. And if you ever need it, you're done. So anyway, I'm going to upload this video, and I guess until we see the X79 one, that'll be the next big one to come. So anyways, guys, talk to you later. Bye for now.